And it is time now to round up today's top stories from the world of science with CTV science and technology expert Dan Riskin. Dan, good to see you on Monday. Hope you had a great Father's Day yesterday.
I did. It was a great Father's Day. Thank you.
All right, good. We're going to get to a Father's Day related story in a minute. But first, let's talk about optimism here, helping women live longer. Maybe we need to change our perspectives.
Well, you know what? I think a lot of people know that optimism probably makes every day feel a little bit better, but it turns out optimism also gives you more days. This is a big study out of the UK looking at about 160,000 women who signed up for a long-term study in the 90s as postmenopausal women. And, you know, it's been a while since the 90s, so a lot of those women have passed away. So they looked at survey responses on terms of optimism and then looked at the death rates for the different women. And what they found was the women that were in that top most optimistic quartile, the top 25%, on average are living 5 years longer than the women in the bottom.
5 years.
5 extra years for the most optimistic compared to the most pessimistic. So, you know, if you can find a way to work optimism into your day, you're not just going to have a happier day, you're also going to have more days. In fact, it increases the chances that you'll reach your 90s by a full 10%. So it's something worth doing.
More reason than ever to look at the glass as being half full, that's for sure. Okay, exactly. Dan, we mentioned Father's Day. This is for the dads. On the heels of Father's Day, fathering, this is really a remarkable study. It can have lasting effects right across generations, not just on the fathers themselves, but their sons and then their sons potentially. Yeah,
so this is a really cool thing. If you think about men and their budget for what they do with their energy, testosterone comes into it when you're young because you're aggressive, you're competing with other males. And then once you have kids, that testosterone makes you aggressive. It's not really that helpful. So it's a known fact that when you become a dad, your testosterone goes down. But this latest study shows that if your own father was around when you were a teenager, then when you become a dad, that effect is increased. It doesn't matter if your dad was around when you were a kid or when you were a baby, but if they were there during the teenage years, then that will make you a dad with even lower testosterone, which suggests that you are a more empathetic dad, a better dad. So in a way, if you're spending time with your teenage sons, you're going to make them better dads. That's really the take home from this.
Okay, absolutely. So listen up, dads, on that one. And of course, Dan, we can't mention this, or we can't stop mentioning this. You, of course, have a new book coming out, which we're looking forward to. And it turns out humans can echolocate just like your favorite species, bats.
Yeah, so Fiona the Fruit Bat is a kid's book that I have coming out in September. It's available for pre-order now, so I'm super excited about that. But one of the things I talk about in the book is echolocation. And a lot of people don't realize humans can echolocate too. You know, most of us don't do it in our everyday lives, but this new study just came out looking at how the echoes bounce and how humans can perceive them most easily. But it's a really weird trick where if you're blindfolded and you're talking, you can tell if you're in a room or if you're outside just from the sounds of those echoes. And if you work on those skills over time, you can actually click your tongue and find your way around a darkened room just like a bat can. And a lot of people don't realize we have this hidden superpower that none of us use.
Be honest, Dan, are you practicing your echolocation?
Every day, man. Every day. You got to do it. You got to do it.
Absolutely. I'm going to blindfold myself after the show and see if I can find my way across the street to grab a cup of coffee.
Good luck with that. Maybe not across the street. Maybe start with an indoor setting.
That's a good point.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you for the safety tips, Dan. Always great to chat. We will, of course, be talking to you next week.
Anakin Skywalker is alive. He's been looking for you for a long time.
Give that man a lozenge. ObiWan Kenobi is a new limited series from Lucasfilm, streaming only on Disney+. Weekly episodes every Wednesday until the finale this Wednesday. The story begins 10 years after the events of Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith, where Obi-Wan faced his greatest defeat, the downfall and corruption of his best friend and Jedi apprentice Anakin Skywalker, who turned to the dark side as the evil Lord Darth Vader. Played by Hayden Christensen, who joins me now live along with ObiWan Kenobi director Deborah Chow. Both Canadians.
That's right.
Wave that flag, kids, huh?
That's right.
So good to have you here. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Let's start with you. Hayden, Obi-Wan is kind of the alpha and omega of the whole Star Wars saga. Everything kind of flows through him and your character as well. So when you kind of rocketed into this role a while ago, did you have any inclination that 20 plus years later you'd be still playing the baddest man machine in the galaxy?
No, not really. You know, when we finished doing the prequels, that was kind of it. And this has all sort of come as quite the surprise. But one I'm so grateful for, and it's really been a privilege to get to come back.
Was it declared it, or did you just get the feeling that it was kind of it?
No, I mean we all thought that was it at the time, and then of course they continued, you know, with the different Star Wars stories that they were telling, and the universe continued to grow, and then I got this, you know, incredible phone call one day asking me to come back.
And you got that same call too, Deborah.
Yeah.
You were just directing some episodes of Mandalorian, right? So you get the call from Lucasfilm, the brass, to work on Obi-Wan Kenobi. So flattering, terrifying, overwhelming, all of the above. And what was that call like?
Yeah, I think it was definitely all of the above. You know, it's quite a different project than Mandalorian in a big way. So on one hand, it was incredibly exciting to get to take, you know, two of the most iconic characters and tell a new story with them. But on the other hand, you know, it's challenging. It's in between two trilogies. You know, it is a big legacy iconic project.
Did you grow up a huge fan of Star Wars, like on a scale of 1 to 10? Casual fan to like a lunatic fan?
I wasn't a lunatic, but I was definitely a big fan. Let's put it that way.
How about you? Casual to otherworldly in terms of the sort of, you know, following the whole saga prior to working on it?
For myself?
Yeah.
No, when I was a kid, I was definitely a fan. Yeah, no, very much so.
So you've had 20 years plus on the planet now as a human being to go through, you know, good and bad. We all go through things in life prior to the work and the originals. You know, a very complicated character emotionally. Has it helped you to be able to draw upon those things that you really, you know, even as a great actor, it's hard to really know the darkness, the depth of darkness, unless you've actually gone through some stuff, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is a character that I know pretty well, so coming back to it, it was just sort of like more about getting back into that mindset that I was already sort of familiar with, and then sort of furthering my exploration, if that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. Deborah, talk about the production, the presentation. For me, it's just epic, right? The scope, and for me, it's the score. The music, you know, I was a 12-year-old kid when I went to see the first movie in a theater with a friend. And for as much as the tech and the story grabbed me, it was the music that I remember, that held me and kept me coming back.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, the music, I mean, for any film project is always huge, but I think particularly for Star Wars, because it's so iconic, it doesn't really feel like Star Wars sometimes without the music. So we were incredibly lucky to have John Williams come back and do the main theme and to be so involved in it.
You know, I'm not even going to pretend to know what it's like to be a part of a production like this, because this is something, as you know, when you ponder this when you lay your head on the pillow at night, this is a story, this is a saga that's going to transcend us all, right? As long as there's movies, people are going to be watching and talking about and feeling and discussing and debating these movies forever. And we're long gone. What's that like?
It's a special thing to get to be a part of that, yeah, it's a hard thing to describe for you, but as a sort of creative person, that's all you can kind of hope for is to be a part of something that's going to live on. So yeah.
Yeah.
Where does the Lucasfilm lexicon fit into, you know, your future as a filmmaker, as a place to move on from as well? Like, what kind of things will you draw from and take from?
For me, it's been, you know, I've had, between the two shows, it's been a pretty incredible experience, and also the breadth of experience you get doing these shows, because you're pretty much doing everything, has been pretty amazing. So, you know, for here, just having done, you know, I've done puppetry, I've done visual effects, stunts, everything. It's a great thing to be able to move forward with.
So real quick, this is the CanCon. Is there more CanCon on the set? Is it just
There
the two
is,
of you?
no, there
more?
were a few more Canadians.
Yeah?
Jojo was Canadian.
Oh, the CanCon.
Yeah, our stunt coordinator.
It took me a second.
Can, what
Yeah.
kind of dancing?
There were a few. Our stunt coordinator was Canadian, and there certainly were a few. And then across the lot, obviously, Paul Lee was hanging out, and so there definitely were some Canadians hanging out.
Canadian contingent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both, Deborah and Hayden, for joining us It's been a real pleasure and a thrill for all of us here. Good luck with the rest of the show.
Thank you.
There's more Vader to come next season, all right? There's all kinds of stuff happening. Stay tuned to Disney Plus. Wednesday is the final episode of this particular run of ObiWan Kenobi. Thanks again.
Thank you.
This Saturday, the 9th annual Oakville Festival of Film and Arts is hosting a gala fundraiser in support of civilian volunteers and the fight for freedom and survival in Ukraine. On the bill is Ukrainian-Canadian singer-songwriter Chantel Kreviaz, who joins me now live from LA with more. Chantel, thanks for being here. Appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you for having me at this ungodly hour.
So, Chantel, this weekend, it's going to be arts and hearts and minds all coming together to raise some funds and provide some relief, and comfort to your heritage homeland. Who's performing, what's screening, what's staging at this event?
There's going to be an amazing film. We wanted to celebrate a Ukrainian filmmaker, a female. I guess there's every year this amazing opportunity for a female filmmaker. And so it just seemed absolutely appropriate to have a Ukrainian filmmaker. Mm-hmm. And so the film will be shown, and I'm going to perform. And there will be, it's a bit beyond the film because there's going to be Ukrainian performing as well for dance, and we'll have the Ukrainian anthem. I'm really learning my Ukrainian anthem very well. It's
nice.
It's very sweet. Mm-hmm.
So we're 4.5 months into this invasion, and the Western governments continue to arm the resistance. But the story of this war has fallen below the fold in the greater collective consciousness for the public. Weapons of war can sustain this defense, but defending democracy, that's pretty messy, and it could be a long haul, right?
It could be. I'm very curious to see what happens with the candidacy for EU. That's coming around tomorrow. And hopefully there is a turn of the tide here. But yeah, I think you hit on the more important issue, and that is that we can't stop bringing this to the forefront. This is an atrocity. The atrocities are continually shocking, even though the media may not be able to sustain this focus. It affects. It is affecting the entire planet because Ukraine is the breadbasket, as you know, of the world. And so things like inflation, famine. It's right. We're not far from some major resonating throughout the planet. So it really is important to stay focused. And I'm a proud Ukrainian Canadian Métis girl, and I'm so grateful for my forefathers, my grandparents, and the struggle, the hard work that went into growing my parents and me. Ukrainian people have suffered so much, and so that we could have a better life. So it's really important to me, and lots of Manitobans, lots of people from Ontario, lots of people from Saskatchewan.
Sure.
1 in 7 people come from a Ukrainian background. So and they built the infrastructure of our country. Indeed.
And Chantel, music is mercy, it's medicine, and film and theater can be therapy. How far can arts and the artists go? As honest witnesses and crusaders for justice, to try and help heal with, some of these wounds and make a difference?
Well, all I can tell you is that there's being an artist, and it is medicinal, and we feel amazing when we perform. My concerts are fun, and they're transformative, and I love the relationship with the audience. But I'll tell you what, when you add meaning like this, it is such it's a profound layer to have on top of what is already very meaningful. And I'm doing as much as I can, as many performances as I can for Ukraine right now. And I got to tell you, they are truly some of the most meaningful experiences and shows of my life. And I think the whole room feels it, and we're seeing it in how it affects people to step up and give and share, and so I'm here for it.
Chantel, we just have a couple seconds left. How can people get in touch with the festival in Oakville and be a part of this thing and, give back?
They can go to the OFFA on Instagram, Twitter. If you check out, the Oakville Arts Festival anywhere online, go to my Instagram at Chantel Krev, and you'll find us. We'd love to have you. Please come. It's going to be an amazing evening.
Sounds like it. Chantel Kreviaz, live from LA. Thank you for your time. Say hi to Hubster and have a good day.
I will. You too. Good to see you, George. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. Feeling good, feeling great. Feeling like I'm about to own the day. Moving on a natural high. Like to let my joy burst to the sky. Yeah, I just hit my joy walk. Let the sun shine when I hit my joy walk. Rock a big smile while I do my joy walk. I bring the good vibes when I do my joy walk. Yeah, see, I don't need no sugar.
Okay, we could be listening to the next big hit song of the summer. Rapper Vanilla Ice has launched his latest venture, an energy drink with Joy Burst. So for a look now, we are joined in the studio by the one and only Vanilla Ice. Welcome. 90s throwback. It's so great to have you back here again. I know we've had you on the show, so this is pretty cool. Your latest collaboration with Joy Burst energy drink, and you've made a brand new song. It sounds catchy. We just listened to it. And this music video, as well as the drink, it's dropping all tomorrow, right?
It all drops tomorrow. It's the Joy Burst sensation taking nation, but it'll turn you into the oldest teenager in town, like me.
And it's named after you, which is really cool.
It keeps you young. It'll put pep in your step.
Yeah.
I've got lines for this all day.
Okay.
It's delicious, though. It really is, and it's a lot of fun. And the greatest thing about this that makes it different is it's all natural. So it's not, cheaper products. It'll keep you, energized all day long without that crash, which is good. So
I want to go back to that song. I love the packaging of this too, because it's like literally bursting with like the whole 90s, which in my opinion, it is like the best decade.
Ever.
Like no one has ever created music since the 90s. How good does it feel? Because even looking at that song, the video, like you're also bringing that burst of 90s, pun intended.
Yeah.
But how good does it feel that the 90s are kind of coming back?
It's amazing, and it is. You're not kidding. I mean, like everything today, it's pop culture at its finest, But I think the reason the 90s are so infectious right now is because it was so colorful and it was so much fun. I kind of feel sorry for these kids today.
I do too.
I think we had a better childhood, as we didn't play Fortnite all day and get stuck in the house. We got out of the house and we danced. We went to block parties and different things. But it's amazing that even the shoes today, everything in all the fashion, the fanny pack is even back.
Yes, it is. I brought mine back from the 90s. I kept it.
Oh, smart.
They're cool. I mean, like so many things, even the shoes and everything, the fashion. So, and I have older girls, my daughters, and they think I'm cool. Like, Dad, whoa, where did you get all those clothes, and all the stuff I used to wear. I was like, baby, those are called Z Cavariccis. They're like, what's that? I was like, they're the coolest, but they don't make them anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely kind of that MC Hammer. Like, you were iconic. Your song, Ice Ice Baby, that is like eternalized in pop culture forever. So very cool.
It's amazing.
And you also talk about loving the 90s. You never want to leave that decade, but also kind of how computers have pretty much ruined everything and culture. And yet you have like over 700,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, you remember how, like pop culture when we were young, when we, you could tell like fashion-wise what people were wearing, If you looked at the guy with the mohawk and the guy liner, you're like, he probably listens to the Ramones or Sex Pistols or something like that. You look at the guy with the fat gold rope chain, and that was kind of my group, the hip hop group. And then you had the, the pot smokers over there, Motley Crue guys. Oh, okay. But it was just, you could tell. Now you can't really have any, you don't have any fashion that defines what you listen to.
So true.
So that pop culture where music meets fashion is gone because of computers.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why the 90s are still in so big.
And they stand out so much.
It stands out.
But one of the really cool things that we have seen recently, well, not recently, in the last decade, is a lot of artists like yourself do sort of venture out and are becoming these entrepreneurs. And going back to Joyburst, what was it about this collaboration that you really wanted to do? And I love the fact that it's plant-based. So tell us exactly what we're getting in it.
Well, I'm a vegetarian like you for 20 years now. And yeah, so I do look for better products and stuff like that because we don't really know what we're putting. You know, everybody's really going for the energy, but now that energy drinks have been out for a while, they're getting a little healthier. You're putting, you know, better ingredients and better things in it. So yeah, it's got a natural plant extract. There's no sugar in it, which we all know sugar is not that great for you.
Yeah.
No aspartame, no ACE. So I mean, it's got like a lot of great products that other energy drinks really don't have.
Yeah.
And the greatest thing about it is it tastes like cotton candy in a can.
Amazing.
Wow.
Without all the sugar.
Oh, I
You also
guess.
mentioned that there's one with vodka in
Yes.
it, which you
There is.
didn't bring. But that's okay. We'll get our hands on that
Yeah,
some
you
other
previewed
time.
that in the behind-the-scenes music video saying there's one drink that'll keep you dancing through the night and one that'll keep you up all night.
That's right.
Hey, they both accomplished the same thing. Listen, I know you have a launch party tonight at Rebel Nightclub and a concert, so thanks so much for joining us. And an I Love 90s tour coming up. Wish we had more time, but Vanilla Ice,
good.
Rob, so nice to have you here.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Yeah, get your Joyburst.
Drops tomorrow at all Costco's and places of distribution.
That's right.
Thank you.
I'm a Buckhead girl, but my income can't afford it. Like you guys say, I'm so rich.
You say you're so rich.
I don't say that. I just y'all keep saying where my money come from.
Marlo, at your party, you
The
said
newest season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta is playing out right now. And no surprise, Marlo Hampton means business. The longtime friend of the show has not skipped a beat by becoming an official member of the Peach Squad. Marlo, thank you so much for joining us this morning. You look absolutely beautiful, first of all. And let's get right into it. Marlo, you know, you're, of course, a longtime friend of the show. How does it feel to finally make it to this point and, you know, sort of say the whole securing the peach? How are you feeling right now?
I feel amazing. And really, to be honest with you, I'm more excited for the fans. I just feel it's been 10 years of everyone supporting me.
Yes.
That whole decade. And it's like, hey, they deserve to see more of Marlo instead of just bits and pieces of Marlo. It's an amazing feeling.
Amen to that. Hey, you know, a lot of the viewers are, and your co-hosts also are a little bit obsessed about how you make money. So listen, I am also obsessed. Please spill the tea. Help this mama out. How do you make your money?
You know what? I just feel that's the most awful question of 10 years. I've been on a platform for 10 years and not for free, a huge platform. That's why I'm here with you today. So, I mean, I feel some way people have to read between the lines. I've been getting paid for 10 years. When I came on, I have real estate, what I told people. I also had a boutique. But at this point, I mean, you can just Google it. Uncle Sam knows how I make money.
You are a businesswoman. You are a real entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
You're a businesswoman, and you have been working hard at this as well. I love that you say that this season is also the old classic Real Housewives of Atlanta. So what sort of factors into this season that makes it that classic vibe?
When I tell you the friendships, it's so authentic, it's so real. You have a mixture of different girls and the OGs. It's just season 14, this season is just amazing. And you're going to just love the real stories, and you're going to just see the friendships and the tears and the laughter. And it's something that every woman can relate to. You can relate to one of us. Out of all the 6 of us, you can relate to one.
Hey, Marlo, really quickly, I also want you to tell us a little bit about your nonprofit organization, something that when I was reading up on it, absolutely love it. I know a lot of people, it's called Glam It Up, and some people were, you know, saying, well, why are you not using hand-me-downs? But to be honest, that's part of it that I absolutely loved. I love that you weren't taking hand-me-downs to support other women, but you were actually using like brand new stuff. Why not? So tell us really quickly about what Glam It Up is and why it's so special to you.
Okay. Glam It Up is near and dear to my heart. It's a nonprofit that I started in 2017. I started in 2011, but it became a nonprofit in 2017. So it's for girls in foster care, young ladies who I just encourage, and I teach them life lessons like how to write a check. I had a financial advisor come in and teach them about credit. I had a specialist come in and teach them their bra sizes. Things that when I was in foster care, life skills that I was not taught. And let's be clear on the hand-me-downs. I give hand-me-downs away to plenty of people, my friends, my family, Goodwill. But when it comes to my Glam It Up girls, it's personal. When I grew up in foster care, that's all I got was hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
I never got a new teddy bear. I never got new clothes. So to me, it's really personal. And some people may feel it's shallow, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But when you've been raised in foster care for as many years as I have, and on Christmas and birthdays, you got someone old teddy bear, someone old T-shirt. It's like, hey, I want my Glam It Up girls to know you're worthy, and you're worthy of something new, and opening a gift with a tag on it. So if it's shallow, I'll be shallow for my girls.
Hey, listen, Marlo, I've seen that closet of yours, and listen, I will take your hand-me-downs any day. Hey, congratulations on this season as well. Thanks so much for your time, Marlo. Really appreciate it.